Guys, welcome to the Naughty Business Show. Saturday, woo! Hey, it's Easter weekend. Y'all know that? Because I just didn't really put it together till a couple days ago. Happy Easter weekend. Happy Saturday. Hey, so we're having some technical difficulties right now. Phil's backstage doing what he does best, trying to get this worked out with JVK Racks to jump on with us. So y'all be patient. High voltage is in the house. Heathen, thanks for coming through. Yeah, y'all hang tight, man. We'll do something here while he's working in the background. He's gonna jump on here in a minute. Yeah, he keeps trying to reload it. So let's go ahead and thank Shed Testing, our sponsors. Right, everybody go hook up with Charlie and get your sheds into him. Who else have we got here? Oh, the Harbins. Right, everybody loves Herb Harbins. Who else wants a shout out? Ooh, Irresistible Ball coming through. What up, Nikki? Y'all be patient. He gave Dredd the wheel today, so who knows what's gonna happen. He's working in the background. I might start back spinning or, break that some shit. Anyway, y'all happy Easter. Hopefully your week's going good. It's spring break for my boys. They haven't been home most of the time. Right? That's a good deal. So yeah, man, this is gonna be good if he can get this to stream on his end over in the UK, JVK Racks. The new Chondro. What are we getting? Chondro is showing the Chondro setups, huh?
There we go, Dredd.
There we go. Y'all know how it is. We always got something wrong.
Yeah, he can't. So I'm tinkering with him right now. Jay can't get the site to load from the EV Mux, the host. He downloaded Chrome, so I'm over here working on some tech issues, and I got screen share ready and all that good stuff. And
JVK Racks and JVK Chondros.
Yep.
So the JVK Chondros are his new branch because of the. Or they've had JVK Chondros.
He's got both Pythons as well. It looks to me, I think JVK Chondros and the racks have evolved. We're gonna find out here, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll get it straight soon enough.
Thanks for rolling through, Eric, Nikki, Brian. What's up? Woo!
Yeah, it's Saturday. Who's Easter egg hunting?
Ooh, I gotta set. Easter Bunny has to set that up for the morning.
I don't think well, I don't know. I guess I could hide some Easter eggs and then get baked and then go try to find them later.
Hey, we've had Beck on here. It worked out okay. And she was in Australia. I'm trying to think. Have we had any other issues from other out of the country guests?
No, I don't think no. So your daddy-daughter dance went good?
It was awesome. It was super sweet. I wanted to stay back because she was so excited with her friends. I didn't want to be lurking. Bosa, Brian.
Well, y'all looked real good. I'll tell you that.
What's up, Brian? Yeah, it was awesome. What could be the issue? We need some technical. Why is he having issues on his end? The pricing on them is great. Have you guys seen their page at all? I can pull it up.
Yeah, I hadn't looked at the pricing. I know they're competitive, but the thing is though, with the shipping from overseas to here.
Oh, they're working.
Right, is it?
That should be potentially a non-issue. Hopefully, we'll get to talk about that as well because they're already working, I think, on some distribution plans. So
yeah, because we know that's always kind of difficult from the UK.
He said try. Yeah, give it a phone. Yeah,
the shipping, the distribution. So hopefully that all works because I know they have some nice products. Can't wait to see it.
All right, he's gonna try from his phone. It doesn't matter. I mean, we've dealt with low quality video. We just want the goods. We want the interview, the meat and potatoes. Like, I want to know like what they're made out of. What is this iPad thing on front? That controller. Um, they've got some dummy half hex knockouts to help you round out the shape. It's very IKEA-ish, but for reptiles. And then I want
That's
to
what I'm
find out.
talking about. IKEA rules, man.
And then I want to find out, like, is this going to go to other species? Is it going to stay hexagon? Are they going to do? Can you use this concept with, smaller like rectangles or squares? Can that same? Do they
Dude,
have
I
any other
guarantee
shapes?
you'll be able to use something similar too, or somebody's going to see that and run with it, write another idea. Uh, you'll start seeing different stuff like that, I guarantee.
Oh, Brian, man, yeah, Brian, my boy, Heathen Hatchery, he's got a great idea. Space savers, and I hadn't
That's
thought of
right,
that.
space savers.
And you could see, but this place is pretty good size, but I still always challenge with space, and I always think go vertical, whether it's shelving, on the wall or stacking or whatever. The more you go left and right, the more footprint you take up. No matter whether it's a couch or an enclosure, it doesn't really matter. It's just that same concept. So go vertical when you can. And so, could you imagine being able to hang them on the wall and not have to
But you
have a
see how
footprint?
he has that on the wall where they just, it's like if you're laying tile on the floor, everything just fits into place right there.
The wall hang, those slots on the outside of the hexagons were part of the OG design, and those little legs that go in there with screw mounts to put to your wall.
Yeah.
That was the first concept, was hanging, putting them together in a glob and making them a really cool modern shape with a control center. That was secondary, and I thought that was the other way around.
Yeah, and go diagonal. Yeah, no doubt, or just do whatever you want to do on that
And
wall.
then you'd have to get that
I
hexagon
think that's
light
cool.
from the ceiling that I have saved in my Amazon wish list.
I got a wall right here I could fill completely with those.
Yeah, so Jaffe, I was
babies.
messaging Jaffe out of Canada just before the show here, right as we were backstage, and he's saying he could see them being used. He would like the idea for geckos, like
Yeah, I was just thinking that too,
Snowdonia.
like cresties and stuff. Geckos would something similar to that, or even that style could very well work. They're
So
probably
he's
big enough for crested geckos. They look like it.
Brian, I'm with you. Hey, it sounds like I know we got Ryan out there in California there, high voltage, my boy. We
Yeah,
got
Ryan
Brian
south of
down
me.
at Heathen Hatchery down in Florida. We got me here in Arkansas in the Midwest. Who else could we drum up? We're putting together a little group order. We'll have to see what that freight is and go divsies on it. He said he was trying from his phone, so everyone's stuck looking at us. But hey,
There we go.
whoa, Jay, we have him. Yeah. Great. Let me take care of some housekeeping here.
All right, we're good, guys. He's on. Get ready,
On the
Jay, with
screen.
JVK Racks is about to be live action Saturday, Easter weekend
That's
from
right.
across the pond. Let's do this.
I am genuinely excited. Like, I am super goofed about this. I can't wait.
This is
Jay,
cool, man. Those things are awesome.
Yeah, they're looking good, eh?
I mean,
yeah.
that's like
Good.
I'm
Not
looking
bad.
I'm looking at the Death Star right there. This is badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody get those likes up, get those shares out. If someone ain't watching, let them know. There's so many people, the ball python community, converting over to the chondros or Amazon tree boas. And arboreals are just scorching hot in the U.S. So I know people that are watching the comments. I got a lot of people that I'm friends with that love arboreals, and I know we gotta get this crowd up today because this is so innovative, dude. I just love the look of it, and I can't wait to hear all about how this came about.
Yeah, cheers. I appreciate that. Well, do you want me to go into it? We good?
Yeah, well,
Roll
dude,
with it,
how did
big
you
dog. Do
start
your
this? Did you
thing,
start
man.
were you a snake breeder and this was born out of necessity, or did you design this based on someone else saying, "Hey, I need a solution"? Or tell me about how you started this.
Well, so originally, so I own JVK Reptiles and Racks. So we build stainless steel racks, much like your Freedom Breeders, but here in the UK. So I've been doing that since 2012 as a business, and actually, I think you probably can see if I twist it over.
I noticed some of those. Those are slick,
Yeah.
and I
So
figured.
so we're kind of doing that here in the UK, and that's it. And we breed royals, and we were all in, and that's still a 24/7 thing. So that was that. And then I got thinking, I have friends in the chondros. 2012. I think I probably read the Greg Maxwell chondro book probably
Yes.
about 10 times, and that got my fuel going for chondros. But I never made that kind of leap. It was always with the Royals. And then uh, about 6 months ago, obviously the kind of market in the UK is quite it's quite hard at the moment, with the Royals. And people are looking at different avenues. I've got friends doing chondros. I've always loved them, and I just thought, let's make something cool, something different for the chondros, for the green tree pythons. And it was really selective of that, It wasn't really for anything else. It was just, let's make something for chondros. I'm going to get some chondros. What can I make that's different? Or not even that. I started off with a box. I started off with a square box, and
Yeah.
then the idea kind of came from just work life in the fabrication world. We were doing some work, and there was some manuka honey in a shop that we were working on, and it had all of the kind of honeycomb effect, and that kind of got me thinking. And then generally, it kind of popped out that I was just trying to think of a different shape than a square. I was bored of a square. I was sick and tired of just, we all live in square houses, really square rooms. And although it's really beneficial it's a square, it's a size, it's the best possible size you can get. I wanted something different that was still space saving and still kind of took up as much room as you could, but just a bit more pleasing to the eye. So then,
Yeah.
the honeycomb shape, the hexagon, the pentagon, uh, just kind of popped up, and then just starting to work with the CAD version of it, designing it, it just opened up so many doors, for modular, and I just thought it's such a cool way of it presenting itself on the wall. And obviously, we try and make the best racks we can, and this was nothing different. It was, what can we make that's gonna be a feature, but also keep the snakes exactly how they want to be, and that's been the main thing on testing, making sure that these do what we want them to do, and they're coming out great. Everything's going really well. We have prototypes, obviously, one after the other. It wasn't really anything going wrong. It was just more adding stuff. We would add the modular part. We would add perches. We would add water bowls. We would add the door and the cam lock. And then it was like, okay, so if we're going to do that, like, how can we incorporate thermostat wiring? Like, how are we going to do this neat and tidy?
Neat and tidy.
Still,
That was
yeah,
exactly what I
neat
was
and
thinking.
tidy, but then making it a working feature. So, and everything that makes it modular just kind of helps it grow and grow across the wall. And obviously, you can go in any direction, and then you can go smaller, you can go bigger. We've got like a 600 or like a 2 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot in production at the moment. These are the
Aha.
these are the 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. You've obviously got like the 6 inch kind of there.
Okay,
Now
so
we
you
do the 2
totally
foot.
answered a question that was, because it's hard to tell on camera the size
Yeah.
dimension
Yeah.
that is. So
Yeah.
that's a 1 by 1 by 1. That's the 300 series Elite, correct?
Yeah, so it's kind of me for reference in a way. That's your. Oh, I'm going. That's your kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. Your
Okay.
your kind of, 1 foot by 1 foot kind of size. And obviously we knew we were going to go bigger, but
What's
we
the
just
what's the
thought, if we
weight
can.
in that an
Oh,
item in your hand?
so this is, I don't know. This is a kilo. So
Okay.
what's that in US in pounds?
Isn't that 2.2? I believe is the conversion. 1 kilogram is
Close
about
to that, yeah.
2.23 pounds.
So light, really light. I mean,
Yeah, that's light.
that's so light. Yeah. So
Sorry,
we
nerd
were
alert.
talking to
Nerd alert.
like chondro guys 24/7 here in UK, because we've got the racks. We have the connection to the customers. You see, so it was like, we're going to the top boy, not the top boys, but some of the top boys in the UK, and saying, right, we've got this product. Where are we at? Let's try them out. Let's test them. Obviously, something that size for chondro is like 2 years. It can be before it would then move up. Um, and it was just seems to be the right size to go. And then obviously we're going to get bigger, but people tend to use them or keep them in 6 or 2 foot by 2 foot, and then obviously longer and wider. So we're just trying to open that door and see where it leads us in production
I
wise
think
and how
here
it will work.
there's keepers much more successful than I with chondros. I mean, they're just way further down the path than I am, more experienced. And there's some that say they do fine in a 2x2x2 cube. A lot of them say they want a 3x2, the 3 wide, or 3 long and 2x2 otherwise. And I hear generally those are the main measurements I hear for adults. But unless you have a very large female, you may not necessarily need a 3 foot in length, in width. And
Yeah,
it's a matter of opinion and experience, and it's different. That's how chondros are. There's a lot of ways to get the same job done. So it's whatever works for you. I got a 2x2. I have a couple 2x2 cubes, and I it's I don't foresee them outgrowing them at the moment. I would have to have a really big girl to need a 3x3 or something along those lines. So I think the sizing is great because people rush them into too big of enclosures because we want to humanize it. Oh, I want more space. I want Fluffy to run around, and
yeah,
really
100%.
chondros like it tight and secure and not to be messed with. So a
Yes.
1x1x1 cube or hex, 3D hex at this. What do you think? I mean, you're talking from 12 months to 3 years old, easy.
Yeah.
You're talking
Yeah.
Easy.
easy 2 years
Yeah.
before it outgrows it. Easy.
That's it. Yeah.
Ryan's
And
running his adults in 2x2x2s and being fine. So right,
I
they don't
do.
have to
That's what
be
I
any
do.
big.
Yeah.
So
I
this,
mean,
this is
I think they will. I think they'll be fine in the 2x2, and obviously that'll be quite a lot further out than these, but it will still work within its modular kind of shape and connection and
Will you
stuff. So
have I don't know what the proper word is for it, so forgive me, but like a dummy panel to fill in to allow, because a 2x2 is going to have larger arms on the hexagon, right? So
yeah.
for it
So
to match up to the,
what we have is like these infill panels. So this is turned into a stat bracket, but you can take this top off or the front off. Sorry.
because I seen you had some of those without the accessibility for, okay, so that's part of how you round out to do a
Yeah.
stat.
So then that would go in the gaps basically and fill in the gaps. So we have these. We just have the caps as well, because when we were making it, we were making these solid enclosures just to
What's
take
up,
one
Harbins?
and stuff like that. But we realised that you only actually need the front cap to fill in the hole, because the hole or the shape is always going to be replicated and be the same. So yeah, it will work exactly the same as like the modular from the 150s to the 300s, because
I see.
we're jumping from 150 mil to 300 mil to 600 mil, so we're jumping in halves.
Uh-huh.
So we would do like a 600, then like 900, or what would that be, in feet. But yeah, it will work in the same way. It's just going to be further out, a bit like these can slide back, because obviously it's 300 wide and that's only 150. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting to see them come out and try them out.
Jay, I mean, personally, I saw these things. My friend, actually, Ryan, and he's in the comments, High Voltage Chondros out of California. He's been on the show before. He's an up and coming breeder and a great dude. And he had, I think, brought these to my attention. And I said, holy shit. And like my jaw hit the floor. Like, personally, I just love the concept for a lot of different reasons. It's cool that you've already got plans to expand. You had mentioned how your ball python, your Royals racks, was similar to Freedom Breeder or ARS in the U.S. So I would assume trying to ship over, plug in, and be a competitor in that market would be probably not very financially, very appetizing. But
Yeah,
this, on the other hand, is different no matter where you go. And I feel like the aesthetic and the cleanliness of that would play super well in Korea and Japan. The size, the vertical hangability, the size constraints due to how small their apartments are. I think in Asia, the market is growing and it's getting scorching hot. Just like, well, you're in UK, Europe is really booming with ball pythons right now. But I feel
yeah,
like Asia is just really also a scorching market. And I think aesthetically and logistically, those will scream over there. So as far as distribution, maybe your ball python racks is tough to cram into crowded markets, but this one is going to make its own market. It's going to make its own niche. How far do you see yourself trying to distribute this bad boy?
well, this is it. I mean, just touching on the racks, yeah, we would never it's too expensive and too much grief to get a pallet to go to
Yeah.
America. It'd be too expensive, really. When obviously when people ask me, I say you've got Freedom Breeder, you've got ARS. There's no, there's no
And
point.
that's humble of you to admit that, because why would you want to ship that much metal at that much weight over?
Exactly. I think it's like £1,000 or $1,000 to
These
get
things
something
are
back over there.
light.
Yeah.
Could you
And
imagine
then
a
you've got
pallet of these?
import fees and all of that. I mean, we do ship around Europe, and we ship places like Malta, Italy, Spain, and around Europe. But we also
You
work
have
closely.
currently.
Yeah, we have currently with the racks, but that's probably about $300 to ship in Europe or around Europe. So it's not too bad for a full rack. But yeah, I see these going. I mean, one of these on its own is $30 to get from England to the United States in a couple of days.
30
Which
bucks?
$30,
That
yeah.
ain't nothing.
No, no. It's actually cheaper, I think, to ship them singly than it is in a big box. We were looking at doing like what would it be? It'd be like a 3 foot by 3 foot box, and it was like $300. But then a single one, and that would do 8. So, but it depended. It depended. Certain places, Canada was $40. United States was $30. And in Australia was again $40 per box, which isn't that bad, And we will look into it more for the bigger boxes to get them out there. But yeah,
It's not a
distributing wise,
scary number. I mean, every customer wants to hear shipping's lower, but it's
Yeah,
not
but
a scary number.
what's a box like that on the wall cost? US.
Oh,
right? So at the moment,
I can pull that up. I got your screen shares too. I got your detail
yeah.
sheets if you wanted to pull them up.
But the thing is those prices there, they're UK prices, so they
Right.
have UK VAT in of 20%. So you guys don't have that. So when I sell it to America, Canada, or anywhere else, there's
Right.
no VAT. So it's actually 20% less than the prices that are out there at the moment, which is handy. You may have some import fees coming into the States, which we don't know what that is exactly, but
It all depends on
Poland,
the tariffs to make the world great again. We're going to see what these tariffs are. They're beautiful. They're beautiful tariffs. They're
that's
not
it.
from China. These are not Chinese tariffs. They are American
Yeah,
tariffs.
but I'm just saying though, right? I mean, you have value there, and if shipping like you're saying, I mean, right? That's cheap.
It's not
That's
bad.
worth. People, right? People are going to want these, and that's worth getting them for shipping like that. Seriously.
Man, I want to come back to this, but we're getting some really good questions. Power source. How is
Yeah.
this powered? A
Right.
110? Is it a
So
UK European power source, or can it be converted to US?
no, it can be converted to US. I mean, basically, this is the thermostat. This is the Evo 3, the one that you had the picture on. And this particular one is kind of the leading one in the UK. It's got 3 probes, and it will control the whole system. But obviously, you can change this to states. What we're going to do is we're going to contact certain people in the states, find out your thermostat that you guys use, get it over to the UK, get the files sorted out, and then get the kind of same enclosure style for the leading market leader for that. So we will have this is kind of be the stat. We can actually send this to the States. You just need an adapter, but I'm just working out about the power if we need to downstep
That one
it.
integrates so awesome. Here, we've got Herpstat, which is probably considered the best.
Yeah,
You've got Vivarium Electronics by Reptile Basics, another great one. I'm happy with it. There's even some options with Inkbird that are very,
Inkberg,
very
yeah.
good. So, but yours works so well. If it was simply just a little plug-in, $3, goes from UK plug to US plug, and
well
that's
that's
all I
it.
need
Yeah,
to
I
an
think
adapter for the
that
wall.
if that works, that'll be the easiest thing. Is
I
just get
think
the
it would,
adapter.
because yours aesthetically looks so great. It fits there. You don't have to retrofit, because how am I going to fit a Herpstat in that hole? It sits.
Uh,
Yours is sitting face like a tablet. Our
yeah,
thermostats sit like a terabyte external hard drive. They sit
yeah,
like a book, like a fat wallet. So it's
right.
a different orientation. The layout would be tricky to screen display. I just feel like, why reinvent it? If that works for a freaking $5 adapter, stick with that. But that's just
That's
my
it.
humble opinion.
I agree. I mean, right? Those adapters, they're good. You get right, make it quality. It's worth it. $5, $10, whatever it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
why?
buy 10.
Because would you
Yeah,
want to take a jigsaw to that or a router and
Yeah,
cut
why
it in
would
so your
you if
Herpstat
you
can
can't
sit
get it to fit and
horizontally?
look right with what we have available over here as far as thermostats? I'd stay with what you got. It's clean.
Well, that's it, and you can flip the screens, so you can have them at the different orientation depending on how you want it. You know, you can flip it around the other way. You just simply flip the screen, and because it has the free probe system, which I'll just show you now, like a close up of
And then
how.
later, you know, when this takes off, right, you guys continue, you know, right, market research, whatever, and what people, we like to see this or see that. And then
Yeah, I mean,
you
literally,
guys are
this
already
is
making top quality
What's up,
product
Jared
as
and
it is.
James? Thanks
well,
for
this
hopping
is
in,
why we
Austin,
did all the
Selector. Love you,
prototyping,
bros.
because this was all the thinking behind it all. Really, is like, so this is it's the same process for all of it, really. So we have
Okay.
a custom mat here, and that slides in the back there, really nice and neatly. Now we're getting smaller ones for this because obviously that heating element, it is literally the whole of the top
You just
space.
answered one of my next questions. Were these suited for an ambient room of 84 to 78? Like, or do you have heat sources? And you just answered that.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then the probe, you see, if I don't know if you can see, there's another hole there.
Yeah.
The probe just slides in and it can go all the way. So then, you're getting contact to contact, and then you can obviously just gun it from inside.
Right.
And then the other thing that we've got is, I'll just show you kind of how this works. Is so you have the front, which is removable, but it won't be. We glue it in place, but at the moment this one is. And what it is there's sliders here, and we make these
Yeah.
inserts. Okay. Now these inserts slide in from the back. Slide in from the back,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then
Once
they
you have that
locate.
mounted, you could essentially pull that right off the wall.
Yeah, exactly. I can do that. I can pull them off the wall, change anything, and just slide them back on. Because once the screws in, that's it. And then you also got, you
God,
see,
they're
like a
so
10 mil
light.
gap.
You could take it off the wall, pull your electronics, and go wash it.
Yeah,
Go clean it properly, dry it, and put it back up for a complete nook and cranny, sterilization of your a whole enclosure. How cool is that?
yeah, yeah. And then just slide it back on.
Ah,
We made that about 10 mil thick, so it takes the wire basically. Also keeps the wire in place, and then that will be the same all the way around.
Well, you got a
365.
little airflow back there too, which is
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah. Some slots there. So that's basically how it works. And then obviously when you got it on the wall, the next one will slide over here, and the little spigots on this slider click into the lid above it and then side it. So it's a
right.
really lovely design where they click in. The flatter the wall, the better. But yeah, it just works exactly how it needs to work, really. But that
This
was
no
that was the
doubt.
testing. Yeah.
This isn't by far has to be the most thought. You're right, Heathen. Brian.
This is,
Y'all
I
really
think,
thought about it.
I mean, yeah, you want chondros simple. It's like, don't love them to death, don't care them to death. Set them and forget them. Be confident in what you got it set at. Monitor, but don't overreact. And stability, homeostasis is really so key. And then this is a nice little environment for that to occur. Uh, it's just, I think it's a great design. Like I can't say enough good things about it.
Now, those cup holders built in? Or are they on the side? Talk about that.
So
I noticed
these
that's the first thing I noticed was
holders,
the cup holders.
these got magnets in the back of them. So within the housing,
I know
we
they're magnetic, bro.
yeah, they've been
They
made.
are
Yeah, I know.
magnetic.
It's a
Oh,
different.
the animal shits on the branch. Take it out and bleach it. Magnets, man. Not even screws and nuts. I love
No,
it.
no, and they're solid. So we have four magnets here, and then we have four magnets running down this side and this side. So you can go either side or you can double up. And you can also go up and down by like an inch and a half. So you can have a lower kind of bowl height that's
And,
still off the floor about half an inch. And then it goes up an inch and a half and then up another inch and a half. So you can
and
have
here's
three
the thing.
places and both sides.
I want to get to your price sheets, but you're talking about all these options. And when I looked at it, they were shockingly affordable. I forget what the holder is. It was something like, I don't know, dude. What was it, like 10, 15 bucks? Like your prices are
Yeah.
so reasonable. And then this Joker can move into what? Theoretically, six positions,
Yeah. Yeah. Six positions.
basically
Yeah.
more give or take. And that's just one holder without needing to make screw holes, without
No,
having to secure anything. Like
no.
it's just magnets, and you need to get in there and clean a turd. You need to get in there because it dropped its prey item, whatever. To take the whole damn thing out of your way, and then bleach the arm, and then put a new deli cup in it, and boom, It's freaking brilliant.
And then this is obviously the same deli cup as your V70 tub. You know, kind of Freedom Breeder V70 tub. That's the same deli cup. So you know,
Same deli cup.
we're trying to reuse the same, you know, products
That's
that
the
you guys are going to
thing.
have there. And we do smaller ones of these. This is probably the biggest we do, but we do smaller because some people want smaller, some people want bigger. So we've just designed
But
both of them.
using an item that's disposable that is basically standardized and can be bought in mass is key, because if you make that some kind of ookie kooky proprietary dish you can only get through, just pick Zoomed or Exo, you can only get this Exoterra cup for this holder, or it's never usable. It turns off so much of the marketplace and reduces downstream usability by either you resell it, give it away, change enclosures, whatever. The next guy's going, I'm not going to mail order these specialty
Oh
items.
yeah, versatility and
Yeah, a
interchangeability
disposable
is
deli
key.
cup, a 4 or 8 ounce deli cup or whatever it is. I can get those by the 500 sleeve for a nickel. Like,
Yeah,
having
Yeah.
the ability to replace and clean and not have to go, oh, I got to go back to the website, because I think companies get money hungry and they're like, well, if they buy our water cups and our water holders, then all the money's ours. But it
yeah.
backfires. And here you are with a movable perch that you can use as you like, and disposable cups that you can buy anywhere. I mean, it's genius because you simplified something that's essential.
That's it. That's it. Well, we're trying to do that. I mean, obviously, we have the deli cups with our racks, so we have them in abundance, and we just want to make sure that everything's, you know, interchangeable and works for everyone. You know, we're not trying to. We don't want to send deli cups out in the post. You know, we don't want to do that. We just want to send you. We'll send a couple of deli cups just so you can get the size right. You know,
Right.
it's the right ones that you're going to get in.
Yeah.
So we'll always send a couple out when you get your first order with these. But then basically from there, you know, yeah,
Yeah,
why not?
I
We don't.
even think on Amazon, just paying retail on there, it's like $15 for like 500 of them or something. I mean, seriously, they're super cheap.
Yeah.
Dude, the comments, everyone's loving these. I don't know if you're having a chance to, and I don't want you to waste your time with it, but definitely go back and watch this after the fact today, dude, because the
Bosa,
comments are just glowing for you. Like, people
Right.
said, I need something big enough for my carpet
yeah,
python,
Bosa wants them big
Bosa.
enough for his carpet.
Eden
That'd be awesome, man, to put a carpets
Eden's
in
Den
those.
says, bro made the future for arboreal keeping. Fire.
Yeah. Love that.
Those are fire, says Giovanni. My boy Brian at Heathen Hatchery out of Florida says, I'm positive this is the most thought out setup.
Right.
And when
Cheers,
are they
guys.
available? Are they out now? So
They are out like now. We were just getting stock up, just trying to get the stock in. So people that were contacting us, we were letting them go, but we haven't like officially just done a post and said, right, we're ready to go. But we basically are. We're still just trying to get more stock in to get ready to go. We've already got a distributor who's close to us anyway. Is Jasper LP Rax. He's going to be doing the EU kind of side of it. But
hey,
we
are you
still just
looking
have some
for anybody on the
conversations.
US side? I mean, I got my import export license.
Yeah,
I
I
got
know a
That's it.
guy.
That's it.
I mean,
We just we want to work with people. We want to work with people. We want to get pallets of these over because then I think we can literally get the shipping down to next to nothing. I think even a pallet of these you could fit with the small ones. It was like 1,100 or something ridiculous. I could get in a 2.5 meter high by 2.5 meter by meter and a half pallet. We could get a lot. I think it was 125 a level, 150 mil high, and we got 2.5 meters. So yeah, if someone is wanting to do a big order and be serious about these, then yeah, we're here to listen. You know,
hell yeah. Well,
but
Dude,
at
we
the
I
gotta
same
got a
drum up.
time,
We're
pickup
gonna drum
truck. I
up. We're
can
gonna
go
make a
right to the
commune. I
dock
think
and
I got
get
enough
that.
people. I can see 5 or 6 at least. We drum up all of our lunch money and we say, all right, man, let's get this pallet. We each get 10. Either they're yours, you paid for them, or you help move them and spread the word and keep moving them. Like, people. I think people should buy in and get a group of them together, because there's unless you don't like them from an aesthetic standpoint, maybe someone just likes a different look. I think otherwise it hits just so
I
many
don't think
features.
there's anybody out there that's not gonna like these.
Are you going to do other colors, or is it cost
so
prohibitive, or
no, we can. The great thing about it is we can do any color. We can do multicolor. We can do metallic. We can do
Oh shit.
any color. But the thing is, that limits us to obviously we want to just keep making batches of these and being able to get them gone. But if someone wants a custom order, like we were going to do, obviously you get the red neonates and you get the yellow neonates. So we were going to do a yellow rack for the red and a yellow and a red rack for the yellow because of the contrast you would have, you know. But yeah, we can do anything literally.
Dude,
But the thing is, it would be a custom
Dude,
order.
that's awesome.
If you said I wanted 50 of them and I want them in olive green, we could do that. You know, I mean, this is just a neon green perch, just a just
What's
to
up,
show you
See,
Photo?
kind
that
of
would
the
look
color.
good. I mean, even in enclosure.
So
It-
that let me take
the-
this. Let me take
yeah.
this one. Actually, this one. Yeah, I mean, it looks sick in an enclosure because.
Yeah,
Oh
let's
yeah.
talk about these accessories, these
Yeah.
perches. You got a perch holder. You've got two style of perches, and I think on your ad it even said you can get the extender. It's free. You can opt for one or two perches. And look, nice guy doesn't even charge for the one that takes more material. You get to pick one of your two perches. I thought that was really thoughtful. And so
Yeah, I
that
mean,
just comes out, and then you can remove the animal without having to disturb it. Injure it.
well, so that was the kind of old style perch, the green one. I just showed you that really for color, but generally how they are standard now. I'll just show you. So what you get when you buy, we'll start on the 150s. We'll start on the smaller ones.
Same, Josh and Alyssa, but I have my third chondro
So,
comes on Wednesday. I can't wait.
so that is the 150. So that was the original, which is obviously this bottom part, but we've added this extension so the snake can get higher to the heat source, and then this clicks on and off.
Uh-huh.
So you can
You
just click
improve
it
the legs.
wherever
I
you
see
want.
you lengthen the
You can add more.
legs. Okay. Yeah, the leg
So
design changed a little bit. The way the
yeah,
finishing tips changed, and then that extender.
yeah.
I love
With this
prototype.
we thought the sharp edges, even though it looked cool, we just thought it might be a bit too
Yeah,
spiky. You know,
nah.
it's just
I
got
agree. I agree.
so we rounded the edges off on the bottom, and we've added these extents. So we can go higher with these. You click it on the bottom. You could go forward and back. Yeah, endless. So that's the small perch, and then we've taken the bars out. So this has obviously got the extra bars in,
For a little neonate.
and then this one, if you took the clip off, it's just the central bar. So there's no kind of. It's whatever you guys want, but generally that's the one we'll be giving you when you take the set,
I gotcha.
and then you can add bars and whatnot. You know, so that's the cool thing about the perches, and
What?
they have this little handle, so you can just pick them up and put them
Ah,
into the tub. So you try not to disturb the snake. The whole point is let's not disturb or touch the snake, and then that literally just goes through into the.
Man,
see, here's a man that understands young chondro keeping. That's a gospel. And the fact that you read Greg Maxwell's book so many times, I read it cover to cover before I got my first chondro, and I admire the hell out of him. Actually, Greg Maxwell posted a chondro photo today for the first time in God knows how long.
Really?
Yep, I follow him, Greg Maxwell Reptiles, because he got out of chondros and got into ball pythons. Kind of in
Yeah,
retirement years.
I did actually when we were doing this. I did have a look for his name, and I saw that on Instagram. He had some posts, but yeah, his book
He's
really.
he's
I think
creeping
it's for a lot of
back.
people.
He's creeping back into chondros quietly. He has been for a little bit. He's taken in some animals that were not thriving for other breeders, and he's gotten them to turn around. I don't know if he's keeping them. I think he's just, nursing them for a year and then giving them back to who they belong to. He's still got the touch. He's still, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I don't know what he's doing personally on breeding, but I do know Greg Maxwell. The rumors are true. He is dabbling back in chondros a bit, but he says he'll never get to the size and the dedication he was in the 80s and 90s. But I love the guy. I want a hardcover book, and I want to meet him at an expo and get an autograph before I don't get an opportunity to, because I have a lot of respect for that dude.
yeah. That book, I think that book, especially in the UK, opened up a lot of people's eyes to it and made them want chondros. And I'm sure if you speak to 99% of them, that book got them into it.
Yeah. Here's a price question. Can I do a screen share with your sheets for the 150, the 150 deluxe, and then the 300 and 300 deluxe?
Yeah,
And just
yeah.
give you a chance to go over that. I'll leave you the voiceover and just so our
Yeah,
viewers.
because we're about to get crucified. We don't start talking prices.
I know they're not bad. You guys are killing. You guys are like, what
Hey,
is
they're
it?
ready to place orders right now.
I'm telling you. All right, operators are live. Call now. All right, I got the screen up, and let me do a
Phone
screen
lines are
share,
open.
Jay. And I'm picking Instagram. Here we go. Let's see, and I'm going to bring it to the scene, and I'm going to enlarge it so we're all just voices. Let me
Starter
get
kit.
this banner off, and I will operate this from here. So this is the Repti Hex 150 starter
150.
kit.
Yeah. So the starter kit is literally just the enclosure. So this was more. We did this option more for this can be for tarantulas, dart frogs, geckos, invertebrates. So things that didn't necessarily need the perches or the trays or anything like that. So this is kind of says the basic, but it's generally the enclosure, no heat. Obviously the slots are there, everything's still there, so you can add it at a later date. But this is just the front, the enclosure. You get your sliders to mount it to the wall, and that's it. So
Okay.
that's I'm pretty sure £120. So
About 150 bucks approximately. The US conversion rate, I watch it a bunch. I've had UK dealings and I do a few things internationally, and it's usually lately the pound has weakened some in the last couple of years compared to the dollar because it was damn near double a dollar, but now it's around a buck 35 to a buck 50 conversion rate approximately, changes all the time. But is that
but
what you
like I
see
say,
as well?
that's with the 20% VAT UK VAT. So actually, your price would be 20% less than that price.
Okay.
So if you took 20% off $150, that's what you'll be paying. But then obviously going back into states, you might get hit with a tariff or a percentage. We don't know what that is at the moment.
Yeah, it wouldn't be anything if unless there's some new imaginary tariff or something that happens.
Mm.
Otherwise, it should be pretty straightforward aside from the
Yeah,
freight itself.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it was shocking the prices you found shipping this. So this one, like this one, or the deluxe, the 150 deluxe. What would you estimate it to ship that one of those or whatever number you suggest to the U.S. If somebody's like, I have to have this tomorrow, you said it was about $30 each one to get it from UK to a US doorstep. Is that right or no?
Not well. Yes and no. That was for the 300. So for this size on its own, obviously you could fit three of these in the same box as one of those. So for
Oh,
instance, if you did have three, sorry, it hasn't got cam lock on this one. If you did have three, you could get three in for $30 if you
thank
ordered
you.
three. You know.
All right, let's go back
So
to the.
singly, I'm not sure right now, but I know that if we went from the size of the box, then you could have three of these for thirty
Fine. Yeah,
dollars.
you've gotten. Yeah, you can't always figure every single logistic from scratch. So if you've got one, you've got a size, a price that you're happy with, customers are happy with. Yeah, so definitely three little ones. You've already done the hard work of figuring out the shipping and freight. That makes total sense what you're saying. I completely agree. So three little ones. Let's say you said 150 pounds. It would be 20% less. So that's 30 bucks
Yeah.
off. So you're talking $120 US pound conversion rate. You're back to about 150 US dollars with the conversion, even with if I'm doing it correctly, ish 120, 150
Ish. Yeah. So
for
so
each of
nearly
the
free
three,
shipping
and then
in
about
a way.
30 bucks give or take to ship it. That's not an arm breaker because you can pay 450 for a 2x2x2 enclosure here for chondros without even
Yeah.
trying to bat an eyelash. So I know these are smaller, but you could house three, Noughty yearlings in those. That's a pretty good deal, man. I mean, the prices are very humble, and I think you're gonna do well.
We were trying to make them as low as we possibly could without kind of doing ourselves in, really. The amount of time we've spent on these and going back and forth and adding has been a long kind of slog in a way. But we've gone full force into this. We love the project. We love the look of it. So we just want to get them out there to you guys. We want to get people having them in their rooms. Getting the chondros in and loving them. We're really confident about them.
I think a lot more people are casually getting into chondros, or just even don't even want to breed, but they are just because knowledge and I think is more shared. People are more comfortable. Yeah, I'll have one as a pet, and that is. Could you imagine one person, like just like a girl who likes snakes, and she has one chondro and had that big cube on the wall, like that just would be like one of those cool, like that. She instantly have like street cred. Like people are gonna want that just
Oh,
because.
absolutely.
Don't you think, Dred? The
Oh,
aesthetic
I know
is.
so. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, this is one. This is a deal. Whether you're want to do it big time and breed or just have two or three on your collection, this is it.
Yeah.
I
We're
want 6 or 7 of them right now.
the size on the biggest enclosure right now, physically, rocking and rolling row is 1 foot by 1 foot by one. Is that right,
Yeah.
Jay?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
a big
it's
one.
slightly because of the corner to corner. I think it's like 12 inches from front and back, 12 inches high, and 14 inches wide.
Okay,
But generally, we're going on the 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot just to make it
Right.
easy
there,
for
there you
people.
go, row. And a 2 by 2 by 2 is in the works.
It's in
In
the
the
works.
works.
It's
They're
already
doing.
been designed. It's getting made at the moment and will be tested soon. So we're already on it. Yeah.
There you go, row. And let's look at these other pricing here. This is the 150 Elite, if I
Yeah.
may. Tell me what we are doing with the Elite compared to the
So
base.
the Elite comes with your perch. It comes with your kind of poop tray. So this is basically to keep. Actually, I'll go through what you get and then I kind of go back on it. So you get your poop tray or your water tray. I wouldn't say water tray. It's for paper towel. So keep the humidity up or to make sure that basically it doesn't soil the enclosure. You can just take it apart, put the paper towel in it. There's some little divots that click together.
Uh
So you
huh.
put your paper towel in there and then it goes on top and just clicks in, so the paper towel is nicely firm, and then that just slides in the
Bro,
bottom of the
this is
enclosure.
so ingenious. And you could just take that out and bleach it, scrub
Yeah,
it with a brush,
that's it.
cap it.
Has a little handle there, so you can just pull it out without annoying the snake. Putting it back in. The tolerances are great. They just click together, click off, and yeah, it's for cleaning up any poo or extra humidity for the snake. And obviously, it just stops the whole enclosure getting dirt and having to
But
scrub
yeah,
it. So
just think how much easier
cleanliness.
that is to clean when you do have a mess, some
Yeah,
rodent guts or poo. You can just take that out and really clean it. Yeah,
that's it.
Ro. I think for a sub adult, we kind of said the 300 series would be good for a 12 months to 36-month animal, basically for a size. You think for those 1 to 3 years old?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we were talking to breeders, and they were saying 1 to 3. So, again, it depends on the size. And
Yeah.
then another thing that we kind of didn't really touch on is we've got these cups with the deli cup. Again, using a deli cup, keeping it nice and clean. Now that also has a magnet in it, and
Oh,
these enclosures also have a magnet in the bottom. So, so
did
these.
somebody just say New Caledonia gecko? What?
What?
Shit, yeah. Jay,
Right.
this is awesome.
They're cool, aren't they? They're cool. So yeah, so then that stops it rocking or
Or
tilting.
I'm not a tarantula expert by any stretch of the imagination. I like them, but I never kept them. I guess if anybody correct me, that's a spider keeper. Couldn't you like put your sponge in there and fill it with water
Yeah,
so they can drink?
yeah.
Right? I don't
Some
know.
guy just said a couple of about half an hour ago. He said jumping spiders, I think. But yeah, and then that has a magnetic bowl. So
Oh my god! So the feeder dish magnetic, and that is just epic. And you can take the whole thing out and clean it because they make a mess.
Yeah,
yeah.
this is already the way. Right, I see this. This is gonna take off.
So that in there, and then you've got the cup, and then you've got the perch.
So you could do geckos. You could do
Yeah,
tarantulas, jumping spiders, probably even a
Dart frogs.
mantis, dart
Yeah.
frogs.
Dude, I'll make space in the garage to get a pallet of that stuff over here.
Holy
Right,
shit.
Yeah.
Ryan's just south of me, so we can help you distribute out here on the West
Dread,
Coast. And
yes.
Yeah. And then obviously you've got the cam lock, which is a handle and a lock. You know, we were going to do a thumb turn handle, but the cam lock just looked good, and we've modified
Okay.
the slot so you can just keep the key in as your handle, but then also you can have it locked. You know, you could
So
have.
here you go. Here you go. Hots are a big deal in the U.S., man. And I don't have hots, but I love the Insularis. I like snakes on sticks. And if I ever got into venomous, it would be eyelash or bush vipers or Insularis
mm-hmm.
pit vipers. And they're not a large animal. What do you say? Do you have any venomous friends there? I don't know your guys' rules per se. What's your gut feeling? Is not from a legal standpoint. I understand you'd probably have to be cautious of what you say, but can a venomous arboreal snake be kept in this securely?
I would say yes, because we would change the hinges to steel hinges. We would probably laser cut new parts for the cam lock. But yeah, 100%, not a problem. Like, we do have some friends actually up in Northampton, a little bit higher up than me. They've got a venomous shop, so I was going to actually go down and see them because they've got a nice shop, you know, nice
Yeah.
array of venomous. Get these on the wall, but obviously just making sure we take things slow. You know, it's got to be right for the animal as well as looking cool. So, and that's what we've done. You know, we weren't in a rush with
So
this, which
yeah,
has
give
been
it to
great.
your buddy with some kind of an arboreal viper, and say, give me 6 months. Is this animal
Yeah,
still feeding?
yeah,
Is it behaving dangerously when you go in the enclosure for maintenance? You know, how's the humidity? How's it sheds? Like all the basic stuff, and have someone because I mean, I like hots, but I don't want to take on the responsibility, and you may feel the same. So if someone has it and their experience with it, and they can notice the subtle cues where someone like me may not see something subtle and go, "That's off," because I just have ignorance.
yeah.
It would be so cool to have someone with that experience do a trial run for you guys on these that
That's
can
it. That's
kind of help get it vetted a little more. Yeah, man, people love these. These were made with so much forethought, says Eric, a buddy of mine out of KC, PJ's Creations. And the Herp and Harbins, and might add, show sponsor. They are a sponsor of ours for Naughty Business. Love Josh and Dr. Alyssa. And, you know, I think the Eyelash Viper would look perfect in these, they say.
Oh yeah, stunning. And we've also got the light. That's the last thing on the Elite. So it's the tray, the perch, the bowl, and the light. Now I've got the lights set up on the large, so
Okay.
they're all on a remote. So they all time in on a remote. Can you see that?
Let's
In the
bring you
back.
up
Let
here.
me turn the lights off, and then you kind of have a better look.
Oh, I saw, and their color changing like, ooh!
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Ah!
So we've got
What is your
got
Cash
on,
App, sir? What is your
got it
Cash
on,
App now?
and then if you're at
I
night
got to
and you
sell
want to
another
do
kidney.
oh.
Ah, dude.
Stop, stop.
But
Did you got?
oh,
Whoa! Did you hear that, Jay? I heard that's the cash register going cha-ching, cha-ching.
Right?
This is beautiful, dude.
Dude,
so
dude, there's, yeah, your system's going to shut down here in just a little bit.
so
I am
no wires.
genuinely like geeked out on these.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? I do like that. And then for night time, you can have it on the red light, and then I mean you can actually turn it up and down.
Ah,
You can have it, and then light bright, and then white back on. So
you're
you can
getting
come in your
kidney
reptile
money.
room, and obviously all the lights, as long as you turn them all off together, then they all work on one controller.
Right,
So
Bo? So what can I live without? Because I'm letting one go.
But Bosa, they're such a good price. You only need to sell one kidney, not both. You only need
that's it.
one.
That's it. And then
Maybe
with
like
So the
rechargeable
lights are
batteries,
already installed, or that's an option depending on what
that
you get.
well, that's on the elite range. So I
The
think it's
elite.
that's on the well, it's 15 pounds for the light kit for one, and they're magnetic, so you can take them out and recharge them, and they just
oh
put back
God.
in.
It
So
gets
no
even
wires,
better.
no holes to worry about.
Uh-huh.
And 15 pounds, that's like 20 bucks, guys. Like something. I mean, it's nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah, that's the light. So that will work. That's obviously the same for the smaller ones. It's the same light, same mechanism, all on your remote. So yeah, sweet, isn't it? Love that bit.
Guys, my birthday's coming on May 5th. Y'all just go ahead and just send one to me.
Yeah. It's actually quite nice of them on. Isn't it? So that's like the full range for everyone, and then obviously we've just hyped it up that one more notch for the 300s. So
All
I
right,
mean, if you
let
want to
me
keep
click my
going with the
Instagram
150s, I
page.
suppose.
You want the 300 basic, a starter, or the 300 elite? Which one would you want me to pull up?
Let's
We'll
see
go,
the
we'll go.
elite. Everybody wants to know what the.
Because honestly, dude, the upcharge, if you could even call it that, for these extras, it's worth its weight. I mean, you're talking like, I don't know, what, like 30, $40 to get all those goodies that are perfect
Yeah.
for it without having to, like, go home and jerry rig something.
Because you know everybody's going to want
Dude.
that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the basic is really only for, you know, any other species apart from chondros. It's so they can, they can just have that, and then they can add the water bowl and the tray, but not have the perch. So it's really just to accommodate the people that aren't for chondros, and then we know the chondro guys that just want to have the elite. Plus, if you buy the elite, it's slightly cheaper than buying everything singly.
Exactly. And
Right.
that
You
is
save a few
priced
bucks. Yeah,
properly. That's
buying
what you
it.
should do for customers, right? Is when
Yeah.
you get the whole caboodle, you save from buying compared to a la carte. And that is intelligent. And I think, again, that's going to drive buyers your way.
Yeah. So on the elite, let's go on the elite on that. Obviously, we've talked about the water bowl, the cup holder. That is magnetic. We've gone over that, so we'll just put that to the side for the moment. And then we have the upsize of the tray.
Excuse me.
So it's basically the same idea. We're just the whole length of the 300s. So that's the same thing. The same idea with the clip and the handle. Basically replicating it. Now the difference between the 300 perch is we've gone from 6 mil thick is the 150s. So
Oh,
the
okay,
diameter,
great. I'm glad you answered that because a lot
yeah.
of them here, the Neo stands are 8 millimeters thick. So you answered a very vital question. So those are 6 for the little
So
one.
these ones are 6 and these ones are 10. Now, for a custom customer, for someone that wanted to buy a whole lot and they particularly wanted 8 mil or 7 mil or a different size, we could accommodate that. But generally, 10 mil is the size that we're going for the
Sure.
300s, and then 6 mil. We do have an 8 mil version in this, but generally the 10 mil. So
Hey, what's
this,
that loop on the bottom? Is that like to help them rub a shed? Is that to go on the stand that looks
That's
like
the
a
handle to get it out.
that's the handle for
Dred?
the
You
bigger
said
one.
that like I'm stupid, and I really, he's like, you idiot. That's the hand.
He done said that 4 times.
He's like, that's the hand. No, I didn't recognize that little loop handle on there. I
Pay
thought it was.
attention. Ding ding.
No,
So
I
this
saw the
has.
handle on the little one, bro. I didn't see the handle on the big one. I
Oh.
thought it was something else.
Oh, hold on.
Come
I'm
So
on,
just
man.
excited, man. This thing is awesome.
so let me take out this one. This one shows you a bit better. So this is the different sizes we have. So this comes. So that's the 75 mil perch. Oh, no, sorry, the 50 mil is the front one, and that's 100 mil. So with the elite, what you get. Hold on, let me do this. I'm trying not to confuse you guys, but I'm just trying to give you as much information as possible.
And now these
Sorry,
perches,
Harbin.
they
I'm
come
too
in
broke to
different
pay
colors as
attention, man.
well.
I'm just over here.
They can do, yeah.
They
I mean, at the
can.
moment,
Okay.
black is what you're going to get standard. If you want a color, it's a custom cost. But this is your standard size, and this is 75 mil, or what's that? 3 inch, just under 3 inches perch size, which we feel is a nice kind of height. And that again is you can clip it off, you can clip it back on.
Ah,
Now, for an extra, we supply. I'll take them off. This is a 50 mil and a 100 mil, so a 2 inch and a 4 inch. Just
wow.
gets snake higher. So that would be a separate cost, which we've just kind of come out with. So let me just try not to confuse you because I don't want to confuse people. So when you buy the elite range on the 300, that's what you'll get. And
Yeah.
then if you want to add the other two sizes for like $10. You can have the 50 mil and the 100 mil. It comes as a set that you can then clip onto your main set, and that can give you a good gradient height wise, where you can have like the 3 different heights.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
see, and that's
or you
great.
don't have to. You know, you could keep with the 100, you could keep with the 75, you could have extras of whatever
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It's just really trying to.
And they work together without you having to cobble and burn and PVC and like stuff. This is just great. You don't have to worry about spinning perches. You don't need anti-spin because of the way it hooks together. It solves several issues.
Yeah.
Really great.
And
And again, just anyone listening, like the prices, this is all new. So don't be like, you told me $10 and it's 12. Like prices, we got to, you're still hammering all this out. We still got to get it to US market and it's coming. But generally ballpark, I think everyone here can agree the prices are super affordable because you could go buy some resin, a fake log skull thing at Petco and spend $35 for it to stick in your lizard tank, and it wouldn't do anything for the life of the animal really other than the aesthetic. You get something like this for 5, 10, 15 bucks and you're adding on, it's actually a dedicated feature that makes a dam. And I think the prices are fantastic for the visual pow when you look at it. Your pricing is killer, man. I think it's gonna really hit a lot of people without breaking the bank. People are and then they're gonna want more and more. And that's the cool part of how they add on, man. You create the addiction.
That's it. And then these ones, they have a little 10 mil knobble on the end. That's so when it sits in, it sits 10 mil off of the
Bet
front,
Harbins.
and
I'm
then
gonna get this done.
we have a new kind of feature. Again, we're trying not to touch the snakes. We're trying not to piss them off, really. You know, they're chondros. We kind of want to be able to do what we want to do. So what we've come up with, which, a bit gimmicky, but we think it works, is over here. Can you see this kind of contraption here?
Yeah, it reminds me of the really cool TIE fighters in the black ones that have the pointy wing, the double pointy wings, not the flat wings from Star Wars. I love those guys.
So basically, it just means it's a hole. So you can go in, you can just lift it out. You can without getting your hand too close. Say if you can't put your hand in there,
Phil. Pay attention.
You can just come out here. You can grab it nice and gently, and then you've got the snake obviously perched, and then you can just set the snake down, and then you can do the cleaning you want, and then just pick it back up.
Like taking pizza out of an oven.
Exactly. And then obviously the 10 mil nodules at the end just mean that you've got enough depth to hook it under without having to move it around and jiggle it. So
that's why you have the little 10 mil nubbins on the end.
Yeah, so then
this slide laterally.
That's it. So then that will just sit there.
Gosh.
So
and see the simplicity of it is what makes it work. And like these are substantial little nubs of plastic. They're not going to break. They're not wimpy tittles. Like it's going to hold up. You can clean it if they crap on it. You can go bleach the dang thing and still use it. It ain't going to rust. I mean, phew.
And then what we've got for it, just to make it a bit smarter, is obviously in your room if you want. Put it on a stand.
We're watching The Mandalorian.
It just sits on a stand.
That's even better. Look at that, Phil. It's right on a stand for your video shoots. I mean,
that's it.
And you could turn it and get a better
angle. You could put that on a Lazy Susan.
You could rotate that by hand while you want a better angle. While they,
whatever. Yeah.
So that was just a little extra. We just thought, how could we make it where you're really keeping the snake, really still on the perch. You don't want to move it, but you want to get to the back of the cage. And then this is a kind of, you can put your hand in there, that's what the handle's there for. This is really an extra. For the amount of money, it's probably not bad having it, but at the same time, you don't need it, But it's a great little extra.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? You're going to move a lot of those too. That right there is.
Hey Jay, so the Herp and Harbins are not only are they a show sponsor for Noughty Business, but they are very well respected. I don't know if you know of Dr. Tom Harbin and his legacy. They have carried on some of that family tradition, and they are very well established. Everyone in the community loves them, and they said they might be able to squeeze me on some of their table at Daytona, which is a huge show here. So we got to get some of these things in my hands. We can get you vended at Daytona because I am going. The Harbins, well, they make people, they're 10 times more recognizable than me. So let's just say those are some good coattails if we want to get on any.
You're dang right,
Sweet,
dude.
sweet. I
And
appreciate that.
so
I
we might
appreciate
be able
that.
to squeeze a little table. I think we should make this happen. I think we
That'd be
got to
cool
get
if you
these
could
to
set up a
market,
couple
man.
of those down there, no doubt.
Yeah,
Daytona
yeah.
is in August, I do believe. So
Fair play. We can make things go. We'll have a chat. We'll have a chat. Make things going. I mean, this is what we were talking about before. I mean, these can be freestanding, but they work a lot better on a wall. They were always meant to be on a wall, but then when we were designing it and it was coming out, they do work freestanding, so you could have them on the bench. But with the sliding forward and back, they work a lot better on a wall. But yeah, no, we'll chat, we'll talk. Yeah, 100%.
Daytona is
I want
huge.
people to see them.
Daytona
You
and
know.
Tinley. I would say the Reptile Super Show in Pomona in California is one of them. Definitely Tinley in Chicago is the god of all the reptile shows here. But I would say Daytona is up there with, it's in the big two. I would say it's in the top two for exposure. So very selectable when it comes to who's going to vend and who's not. Very, it's just. Let me see about removing that one from the scene. There you go, sir. It's just really some of the biggest of the reptile shows. But yeah, that's a great place to get noticed, man. Daytona, Florida is a good one. So
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
let's see. Here
But
we go. The Harbin says we get figured out on some pricing and shipping. Well, even if it's just a handful, even if it's just enough to send over. Well, here's six. Here's three big and six small, or whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
I mean,
won't be.
here's
They won't be
you got
left by
seven.
Sunday afternoon, dude. They will be gone by Sunday afternoon. I promise you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, we're trying. I think, coming on tonight, really, it shows me as well. We got them on the wall and they're working and they work. We're really happy with them. Yeah, they do everything. So it's good. And I think the pricing, if we can get them to the States, we can make some things happen. It's going to be good.
That's
Uh,
right, Ryan. Pomona. We got to get him in
Yeah,
Pomona.
Ryan wants them in Pomona. Ro, the heat source. You might have missed it earlier. It's a slip in on the back upper top. Do you still have one of the 150s handy?
Yeah.
One of the.
Yeah.
He'll show you. We'll give him the big screen, Ro, so you can see. Oh, I do want to see the thermostat integration and probing. We didn't look at the electrical guts. So there you go, Ro.
So that's I mean, we've got a smaller one actually for the 150s, and then the 300s is
And then
exactly
show
the
him the
same.
probe holder. There's a little slot
Uh,
right there.
Right
just
there.
there.
So the probe holder goes right on the
probe
mat.
goes in.
Temp on your inside the enclosure and dial in your thermostat.
But like we were saying before about different thermostats, actually, is this probe hole size is just for the Evos. So
Right.
I think it would
Proprietary
be
to
better
yours,
just to
yeah.
have it as a package. Yeah, and then we know it all works and it all goes together.
Do you have anybody, and I'm not asking for like secrets and all this and that, but like, do you have any friends or any of these physically in the US? Did you send one to a buddy and say, hey, try this out? What's it doing?
No, not in the States. We haven't. No, nothing's in the States at the
Because I just
moment.
want
It's
to
only
see
in
how
the
the
UK.
adapters work. What is cumbersome? Like, because your control unit, I feel like should stick with these heat panels. The way it integrates is perfect, and why reinvent the wheel when it's already working? So I'm like, well, what adapter do we need? And then what wall adapter do you need? Or what,
Yeah.
and what do those cost? And then what would it cost you? So if you have a US customer, you throw two in little plug adapters in the box for US or
Yeah.
Aussie or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
They have their country adapter. So you don't got to change your CAD design, your cutting, your machining, your packaging. All that stuff gets quite custom, right? So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
you
we
don't
don't want to be
change.
deviating from the design too much because it's just
No,
more time and effort, and we really want to be shunting this size out. But
streamline.
all we're going to do is we're going to check the voltage and make sure that the company with the stats are happy for us to send them to the States, and that everything's going to work how we think it's going to work. And if it does, then I think that's what we'll do. Yeah.
Heat source is on top, bro. It's overhead, bro.
Oh yeah, but we can have it in the bottom, but we did have them in the bottom and the top, but we took the bottom ones out surely because we were aiming for chondros. But we can just click a button and it will have the bottom slot back in there.
Yeah, and I know. I mean, you're an experienced chondro keeper? Do you keep yourself?
No, that's the thing. So, these were that's why I farmed these off to experienced people, even more than I'm talking to people that have been having chondros since the 80s, the
Right
early
on, man.
90s. So
Yeah, brother.
why go here where I can go to even more professional guys that just work with chondros, just work with arboreal snakes, basins, everything. We're going for everything. The main thing, more the 150s, we're saying neonates, green tree pythons, because they're just so itty, they're so small. With the smaller heat map, we can get the heat gradient. So we feel that these are like a good rack size for the neonates in green tree pythons. Obviously, the boas are slightly bigger, and that's why the 300s came out. I think the 300s are going to be popular, but this in like a racking system for the neonates,
Right.
I think would be ideal, and that's why we've done the smaller heat map for the heat gradient.
Heck yeah. This is kind of the beginning. I feel like. How long ago did you, at least for us in the U.S., catching wind of it? If you guys aren't following JVK Chondros and Racks on Instagram, gosh, you have to go do that. I saw, um, and I don't know how long ago you started those socials, but I assume it was probably recently. Your followers were low, and I was like, man, you guys deserve thousands of followers. You should have 10K followers in no time. We got to get. I know I've got some Korean people that follow me that are serious players over there in bull pythons and stuff, and they like all kinds of reptiles. I can tell by their content, and so there's some other ways that we got to get this market exposed. So everyone, please go follow Jay on Instagram. And if I messed up those handles, please correct me. But
Yeah, so yeah, it's jvk.chondros, and that's really kind of emphasizing the enclosures, and then JVK reptiles and racks on Instagram as well. And we've been posting on. We've got about 3,500 followers on the reptiles and racks one, and we post the content on both of them. But
okay,
again, we wanted to slightly isolate JVK enclosures, just because we obviously got a big a royal python kind of following, and not so much on the chondros. So I really wanted to isolate our followers and who we were following. So I split it. But generally, you can get hold of me either way.
gotcha. Yep, I've had good luck getting a hold of you. You've been super, super duper responsive, even before you knew who I was at all, and just reached out to you. You've been great, and thank you for letting me have you on. Have you been on any podcast so far? Have you been anywhere yet? Like doing
Not
this
not for
stuff?
these. We were on Wolfie's podcast in the UK, for the Racks and for the Royals, but not. This is so new. This is really,
Yes.
when we started posting was when we thought we can start releasing, we can start talking about
We
them,
did it, Dred. We
and
got the scoop. I feel like a real
Hey,
yeah, that's
another
it.
dude,
first,
sir.
another first, naughty business.
Ah, great job, lad. We did it. Because I was like, man, I don't think these are out anymore on podcasts. We've got to do. And so I was like, man, I'm going to just, sometimes I wake up, Jay, with a wild hair, and I'll just message somebody like that wouldn't give me the time of day. And then they're
Hey,
like,
he
yeah, we'll
asked
go
me
on
one
it.
time, like that very thing. What do you think I should do, man, about this? I'm conflicted. I said, do what I do. Just do it. Go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
I said,
hundred percent,
what's the worst
hundred
going to
percent. Yeah,
happen? No, or you get
no.
ignored. So
Yeah.
what?
So I reached out to you. I wasn't sure what to expect. So you've been super gracious in dealing with, and I really appreciate, just being so kind. We do have a husband and wife in the comments, and the husband said he's glad he's working overtime and putting in weekends starting Saturday because he's got to put an order in. His wife says those are gorgeous enclosures from a separate account, and he said, "Sounds like permission to buy some. Thanks, babe."
Yeah.
Well, he just
Well,
said
that's
it's
it.
game on for chondros.
Game over consos.
I've definitely converted one or two people into the chondro world, and there's going to be a few more. I'm certain of it.
Well, that's the thing. They are works of art, aren't they? And they sit there, they perch so nicely that we just wanted to really show them off and make sure that they get the what they deserve. In
Yeah,
our households.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even the versatility, not just for chondros, but right geckos and other species
Yeah.
that
Amazon
this
Yeah.
will
tree
work for and
boas,
is going to work for.
Dominican boas.
Who knows where you're going to go with this, really? I mean, you're going to have all different models coming up.
Dude, I
That's
mean,
it.
the emerald tree boas, Amazon tree boas, and Dominican boa tree boas are so popular right now in the U.S. and they're
It's
all
gonna
small
take
snakes.
off.
I know emeralds
Y-
get big, and I got that, and may not fit for you. You would need a 4x4x4. I mean, you would need a huge monstrosity, but they still grow slowly through their life cycles. This could still very much work for emerald tree boas, and obviously the smaller,
Mm-hmm.
Amazon tree boas, along with the venomous tree vipers of different species, because they do stay smaller. It would be a fantastic lifelong enclosure for them. So it's
Yeah.
like, aside from those, I didn't even say the word chondro. And then you got geckos. I mean, the bigger enclosure your biggest one you're gonna do could probably hold an adult lychee. The smaller ones, in their youth. But then everyone loves cresties and gargoyles. You got those.
That
Um,
one right there is perfect for cresties and stuff.
Fuck yeah,
You
it's
know.
absolutely
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
perfect.
food dish, you got food dish magnetic accessories, and then you got the tarantula world. And um, I don't know a ton about it, but I know that having a durable, plastic base enclosure that you can manage humidity the right way, temperatures the right way, and still clean appropriately. And these enclosures, in my amateur opinion, would hit all those high notes. So you got, like, that's what, 6 or 7 markets right there off the top of my little head. So
Yeah.
there's so many cool
Yeah.
things that there's so many directions this can go, bro.
That's it. I mean, we just want to tap into each of those communities and just try and really push it and see where it takes us. That's what we're here for the ride. That's it. But yeah, we are going to get in contact with tarantula guys in the UK. Praying mantises would look amazing in
Yeah,
here as well.
those ornamental mantis, they kind of
Yeah,
draw me in. I used to be an isopod breeder and distributor. I did bioactive enclosures, and I was IsoViva from 28 to 21, or 2018 to 21. And I could see I've been drawn to the high end mantis. There's some stunning ones, and I think those would be a great display enclosure for them, with a light and that little one with the black PVC. It would pop. It would be very nice.
we're also thinking, we haven't done it yet. We've got one dropped off, but we were going to wrap the inside in the jungle effect, just like you wrap a car.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap the inside of one, and that might be a feature that we'll offer as a custom extra. Obviously, we can take the enclosures that we've made and then get them wrapped inside, and then it just changes the possibilities. We're already thinking about magnetic troughs for plants. We've already all of these designs have already come out that
You're
we're
not
doing. We
stuck in
just
machining when you have a
that's
magnet that can move. If you have a whole panel that's receptive,
that's
you're,
it.
you're
Yeah,
only limited by your 3D printing imagination and how big of a magnet you need. You can move it around. So that's awesome. Plants, modular plants in there.
yeah.
Shoot, brother. Okay, give me one second.
Starts.
Dred, you good for 1 second? I got to check on something.
What? He's leaving us again?
He's going. He's going. But
Dude,
yeah,
hey, he's good at that. He just bails on us once in a while. He just disappears. It's like, where did he go?
no,
I
it's
know.
good.
I
It's
got
good. It's good.
it. Man, this is awesome. I don't even know what to say. I'm beside myself. This is like,
I think
those
we got.
things are literally so cool. Guys, what about in the comments, right? Any questions? What do y'all got?
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's right now is
Anything.
wanting to know, right? You already answered that. Who to contact? I mean, get get it to him. Get your orders in. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, you just let us know. We can give you a custom quote of how many you want, to your postcode, to your zip code, and then we'll just send them out as soon as we can. Literally. So FedEx it out.
yeah, because somebody
But
did even ask that the lead time on those, but you said you're getting a pretty good stock in them. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're trying to really ramp it
where
up.
you're not
We're
having any back orders or anything where it wouldn't take you. Even if it was, you'd be a week out, and that's nothing.
Oh,
no,
are you
no,
talking about
exactly.
lead time? Someone messaged earlier. I
Yeah, they
forgot
asked
that
about a
comment.
lead time, and he's there's really not one.
No, we're going to just try and get them boxed up and gone. We're just making them as fast as we can.
What is the
Um,
material
but
made out of? I mean, if it's proprietary, don't tell me. But I mean, is it PVC? Is it something lighter? Is it something
Yeah,
that you've developed,
no,
or
it's
what?
something lighter. It, we've got the material that we want to stay with, but we don't want to release that at the moment until we're 100% just going to stick with it. We're just kind of trying to get that sorted. Well, no, not sorted. We're done. They're finished. They're done. That, but the plastic is a polyactic acid plastic, so It's durable to heat to everything really. And it's pretty darn strong as well. You know, we had some of these that we had on the floor. You know, like I say, when we're testing them, you know, we're jumping on these, we're chucking them around, we're testing everything, not just for the animals, generally for breakages, what snaps, what clicks, what doesn't. You know, tolerances, and that
Yeah.
was most of the testing was the tolerances for when stuff clicks together. If it's too hard or too soft, or over time does it wear, and you know, one of the things actually that I'll tell you from testing that we did is obviously the fronts are separate and they click on. Now, Richard Trent, one of our good friends that was testing them, said when he was spraying them, they were dripping from the lids. So what we do now is when we send them out, we have a silicone seal come on to the front edge. So now they don't obviously ever do that, and it helps gluing the lids on. So testing like that you wouldn't necessarily think of straight off of the bat has helped, you know, to bring these design forward and push it.
Yep. I know what you
So
mean. I had that happen on. I got a big 4x2 behind me, and it's a Brazilian rainbow bow enclosure. So the front's usually all fogged out, and I was having water seep out of its little channel. It's rabbited channel it said, and and mine wasn't as elegant of a solution. I used a drill bit at an angle down in that channel. So now when the water collects, it runs back into the enclosure instead of out. And I was like, problem solved. 2 seconds.
problem solved, done.
And
That's
you're
it.
using a heavy duty hinge, something that's going to hold up, and the
Yeah,
way your
yeah,
hinge system's fastened, and yeah,
that's it. I mean, with
your
the
door's not going to fall off after open it 100 times, and then it's going to fall off. No, that's not going to
oh,
happen.
that's the other thing with having a clip on all the way around. You know, they are solid. You know, we had bags of sugar on them. You know, drill bits, everything we can to just load them off, and they're absolutely solid. You know,
Your
um,
your magnet panels are the two lower right aspects, correct? And
yes,
the bottom. The
yeah,
bottom half.
yeah. The bottom
Does it
half, yeah.
add a substantial amount of weight? Because I know
No,
weight becomes.
no,
Can
no.
you
Wait, probably a couple of grams.
can the whole thing be magnetic to where you could open up the concept of um, maybe I'm thinking along for crested, geckos, arboreal geckos, that you could have plants that, your plant can magnet, or a cork bark. Cork is very light, where you could cork bark magnet, a magnet with a clip that would clip cork bark tube or something. So you could have those items in there for aesthetics and for the animal's, psychic well-being, but also take it out, clean it, inspect it, retrieve the animal if you need to. Is there an expansion in your thoughts for where the magnet? Is there a limitation to the magnets? Can the whole thing be magnetic except for the front?
Anywhere can be magnetic within the enclosure. We just need to add the slots in the program, and then that's it. It just obviously the more magnets we put on either side and fill it with magnets, the more the cost goes up because the more we have to fill it with magnets. So
Right.
we kind of had two ideas. We were going to say, look, you're going to get magnets within it, and then you can choose where the magnets go, and then you can seal the door on. But we've kind of pulled away from that because we wanted it to be like a done unit. So at the moment you
Perfect.
have magnets on both sides, but we could add the slots in the back, basically making both sides from front to back would have magnets. We can do it to the top, and we can have the option of you leave the top off, you slide in the magnets where you want them, or you can buy extra magnets, and you could have magnets going up the fronts and the sides and the backs, front to back. Sorry, top
That
and
would probably
bottom.
be the easiest for you, because I'm definitely sensitive to the processes that it takes to actually get a product in the box and make it not a nightmare for your end logistically and cost wise. So maybe, when you're going through your checkout and you're getting the a la carte, you're getting the stand handle, you're getting the standard, the perch remover, or, oh, I want to add LED lights, and you're picking and choosing at the end of your, in your cart before you make your final purchase. The magnet pack is some number that makes sense for you with the instructions. Yeah, you can slide those
Yeah.
magnets in. Do you want them on the roof? Slide them here. Do you want them on the side? Slide them here. And that way, okay, the magnet pack is $25. I don't know what I'm making up the number.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then you can have that magnet pack, and like you said, it comes standard with the magnets in those two spots for the water dish holder.
But if you want to add them to there,
Yeah, don't
Yeah, I
change a
like that
thing.
idea. I like that.
That's it. We can add the slots on the click of a button. It would just be moving the magnets to the upper line. But
Then someone could
because
buy a bag of them, and then at the
yeah,
checkout if they want them. But like you said, make your life simpler. Don't add cost to weight if you don't need to, and if they're not going to be appreciated by the customer, and I'm not being rude, but I mean, if it's not something they need, what do they care? But if
exactly,
somebody that
exactly.
wants it, hell, they'll pay
Then
15 or 20 bucks or
yeah.
something to
Yeah,
throw in another bag of metal. Yeah.
that's it. And we're just being careful with that, not to go too over the top where people aren't going to use the features at all, and it's taken us time. So
Uh
we're
huh.
really, we can add slots. It won't take any more time in the process. We could add the slots. So if we added slots at the back, the magnets could still come out unless we had a back cap, but the front cap keeps them from coming out. So it makes it a lot easier to either, we wouldn't really want to add, it'd have to be a real kind of change to add magnets on the back half than doing the front half, or sliding them all the way down. You could do that. We can make the slots longer. But again, we're just trying to listen to the customers, listen to people. Maybe we would have a design for the chondros, a design for the geckos, a design for the tarantula people, and maybe they would definitely want the slots. They would definitely want the higher magnets, and
Yeah,
then we would pay a whole
in time.
file for
Yeah.
them. But again, we want to try and make the same enclosures 24/7, and if it's easy just to put the slots in for every single one of them, then that's why we had it on both sides, because we thought, well, some people might want to put the water cup that way because of whatever. Some people might be for that side. So let's just add the slots and give them the one set of magnets, and they can flip them from side to side.
Uh
And
huh.
then when we had the water come out the front, we thought, well, no, we've got to seal these lids prior to the customer. We don't want a customer sealing the lid. I mean, they could glue it, but
Yeah, but the
we don't want to
liability.
make
Yeah.
it. We don't want to make it awkward, and we don't want them to put it on the wall and then decide something happens. So we figured, look, we're just going to supply with them magnets, and then maybe if they've got a custom request, again, click of a button, pack of magnets in the post. Away they go.
Sweet. This is
You know,
exciting, dude. You've got this thing really well thought out.
I
This is
appreciate that. I
this is
appreciate that.
impressive. Your control module there. If we want to touch on that before we let you go, I know it's getting late in the UK.
Oh
What?
no, no, it's fine. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
What this
What
one here?
is? Talk about that. How does it integrate? Where did the probes go? Can you operate? Is it functional now? It's okay if it's
No,
not. But
this one actually isn't at the moment. This is just a dummy one that we use for the sizing. Sorry about that. I should have had one that was
no,
live,
you're
but
fine. You're
basically,
fine.
all the wiring for this is in this module. I'll see if I can just pop this off. Don't want to be too aggressive. Right, so you see, not very neatly, but that's all the wiring in there. You have 3 probes, and then obviously they're the probes that will fit in the back on the side. I don't know if you guys can see that. And that literally is just held in by a nice kind of tolerance of a click, really, and it's got a hole in the back, so you can just push it out from the back, and then it just pops out.
Oh,
Um, that's it. So that's why we did the hole, just so we could easily take it in and out by pushing it from the front. And obviously you've got the holes picking up. I don't know if you can see
less
that on
moving
the
parts,
spigot.
less machine processes, less things to package, less things to break. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's pretty. We're pretty happy with it. I don't know. I'll just show you. And then, like we were saying before,
It just comes right out.
and then the spigots are already there, and then you can just slide it back in.
What is that?
So
Approximately, what does that run, or have you priced for that out yet?
we have. I think this part is like £35. Again, even though the process is very similar to an enclosure, we just didn't feel right having to charge the same kind of money, for actually I think no, this with the stat front is £50 actually. So as I said, this is particularly called the stat kind of enclosure. So that would be £50, or I don't know what that is in dollars. Sorry guys. And then
Oh, uh probably
but
like
it's even
70,
though
about
it's similar
70
to a
bucks.
size, we've really tried to cut the costs down on these because we just want it to be that added extra. And then obviously we have that for the smaller ones. Hold on, let me put that back on there, and I'll show you.
It's $66 as of today, this hour's conversion rate. Yeah, I was right. It's 1.33. So yeah, 50 pounds is $66. Now, now what about the thermostat controller itself?
Right. Well, that is. So I need to check that. They are quite expensive. They are one of the most expensive stats here. But I mean, you can do a lot with them. You can do nighttime drops, seasonal drops. You can have alarms go on them. They have free probes, like I say, individually timed. I think they're about 150 pounds, 130 to 150 pounds in the UK, but don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure. That might be
Okay, so
trade price as well.
198. So don't you worry, Jay. You got the chondro community listening to you. They're like $200. I spent that on a pair of feeding tongs yesterday.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
the stats
the
are
Varium
solid,
Electronics 2 channel, which I am a fan of. I'm happy with that unit. I've got a few of them, and they're $200, and they got night drop and alarms. And I don't know about seasonal programming, but I'm pretty happy with them. Now the Herbstat is a better unit. I like them more. I have one single channel for an incubator currently, but uh, I've been looking at dropping $500 to get me a 6 channel Wi-Fi ultra badass one by Herbstat. 6 channels of control for 500. It's cheaper
You
than
missed
buying
it. You
them.
missed the slider on the bottom.
Oh, on the bottom. Hold on, let me stand up. It's easier if I
So
stand
if
up.
that thing can control, how many units can that control module you showed handle at
Um,
once?
Well, I mean, we have one of those. We can have well as many as you want, really. It's basically it depends on your gradient that you're going to get from them. And we were testing one probe for 5 boxes, and they were all exactly the same. So we're really confident in the way that that's worked. And obviously, all the wires they drop down the back, and then they would come through the back here. And there's a small lip on here, just so stuff can't generally fall out. Um, but yeah, quite a lot. We test them. They're the same stats we use on the racks. So on the racks, we would have one at the top, one at the bottom, and then they would feed everything. But you could have one feeding the whole rack. So we we assume, or we have done some testing with the thermostats. I think we did a 6 and we did a 5 all in one probe, and we didn't have any deviation in. We had nothing, so it was perfect. And the other thing about the stats is you can control them on an app on your phone as well. So that's pretty cool. Let me just slide this back in. Make sure that's.
How is how has the experience been with your R&D for humidity control? I notice you've got some
Oh,
manufactured slits made in the back, but do
so
you have
yeah, the humidity's great in these. We were thinking about doing some slots on the front lids, but we found that it was really holding humidity great. So we wanted the airflow. We still might add holes, but with the amount of testing that we've done, we haven't had any problems. It's held humidity, so we don't see a need. Plus, the tolerances of the lids, there is tolerance there. Um, so yeah, we're happy. We're happy. And we've got the airflow behind the back of them of about 10 mil. So yeah, we're pretty good on the humidity. We think that we've got it pretty dialed in.
yeah, cool. All right. 'Cause, when they're shedding, they're kind of slow shedders. What, 7 to sometimes 12 days it seems like they're slow. You got to keep that humidity up, for that time frame, and then after that a lot more modest, but that's why I was just wondering how your experience has been as far as needing to give them that humid week or so for shed time.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean,
Cool.
the feedback that we've got's been good, and obviously we have the trays that people have been using to spray down, and obviously it's plastic, so it really runs in droplets and kind of gathers at the tray and works well. I can't knock it.
Dude, I want some. I want to distribute them. I'm not anybody all that fancy. I'm sure you have bigger fish on the line than myself. But damn, if I can help out, man, you let me know because these
I
things
will.
are. Uh,
They're good.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
they're fine
there's
parts.
a lot of us, and there's people in the comments. We all go to Bill Stiegel's, annual party there outside Dallas. I'm going this year for sure. I've been invited. Marshall Mendez. I've been personally invited to go to his house and do a live show from his racks in his room down in Birmingham, which is about 5 hours from me. I got to hang out with him and talk to him a lot in February. I've met him before, but we chatted a lot in February. So there's definitely, and then Carly of Coastal Morelia is one of my designer outcross chondros is from her. She is from this town I live in, and she's due to come in and visit family with the new baby she has this summer. And I think she'll be here in this room. I think we're going to probe some of my animals with her experience to make sure we're doing it right. So I'm going to probe some chondros and get some genders, hopefully. So there's definitely, and then Chuck, I'm buying my third chondro from him, Chill Chondros up in New Jersey.
Yeah,
He has a podcast dedicated all to chondros. Really good with Lucas. They are what my favorite chondro educational podcast. So there's a lot of people, Mike Marshall and some folks in Chicago, and we've got chondro connections all over, big and small. Sal in the UK. Do you know Cryptic
yeah,
Chondros?
yeah. We know Sal. Yeah, Sal's a good one. Yeah, we've been speaking to Sal about these as well.
Dude,
So
Sal
nice.
is genuinely a really nice human being. Like,
Really, really good guy. Yeah.
he is genuinely nice. If you meet him, you talk to him for 10 minutes, you'll probably get a hug at the end of it. Because, I mean, the guy is just so friendly.
Yeah.
Super awesome dude. So, yeah, I've definitely been building a relationship with Sal in the past year. And he's in your neck of the woods. So,
Yeah, he's literally down the road. Literally, he's
oh,
not far
I'm
away from where we are.
jealous. He's had some killer animals lately, bro.
He
He's had
has.
some.
Yeah,
That's
fire.
awesome.
Yeah,
Very much
I mean,
fire.
we want to get them down there. We want the community. We want the Green Tree Park and the Chondro community to really embrace these. I wanted people to embrace them. I wasn't here to piss anyone off, or I really didn't want to be like, it wasn't for that. I mean, these were basically for me, and the racks were for me as well. I won't. I'm a fabricator by trade, and everything that
I
we
figured as
make.
much. You had to be a fabricator, engineer. I mean,
Yeah.
there had to have been.
Yeah, we're sheet metal fabricators, so we do kind of sheet metal work. And obviously the racks were hand in hand, having a metal store, metal shop. That's what we did. But
Hey, can you
that
make me
was
some
that was
metal ASF bins so those little bastards don't chew out? I want to make some of those. I just don't have any skills
yeah. We've seen
or
them. We've
tools.
seen them. They look good, don't they? The tub clip-on tub ones.
Well, yeah, I want some metal ones though. So those
Oh,
things, 'cause the ASFs, man, they chew. They're like piranhas. You
yeah,
gotta
they're
watch.
savage, aren't they? Yeah, we
Woo.
have them down here as well. We have the ASFs here, and they're bitey little buggers. They really
Oh,
Oh
are.
you reach
yeah.
in there with some feeding tongs, and them suckers come jump flying at me like Bruce Lee, teeth first. I'm not exaggerating. They come from across the tank and will, like, they're great
Crazy eye.
parents, great community. They hate me.
Yeah,
They really
they're
do.
savage. But yeah, so we didn't want to piss anyone off. We just wanted to make something different that would still do the same job in a different shape. And I think the square shape, like I was going back before, is just the norm, the standard. We just wanted to see if it'll work changing that shape, and that's all we've done. And it's just opened a massive amount of doors within the design of that shape.
Dread, I want a whole wall of these. I want like a
I know.
30 by 12 wall behind me, just all interlinked. Maybe
I got a wall right here.
we'll pick different
Right,
colors to
look,
print
that
them in,
wall's
and we'll make
empty.
it a
There's
mosaic.
my TV.
When you
That wall's
stand
That's it.
empty, and I
when
can
you
go
stand
all the way
back and look
across,
at them from a
all the way
distance and
up.
relax your eyes, it's a mosaic. And then you see another secondary picture of all the colored enclosures, but up close so you wouldn't notice it. I
So
mean, I
what we're
got
gonna do
pictures.
here, well, I'm getting rid of I've got three large racks here. I'll spin you around so you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see. Oh. So I'm gonna get rid of quite a lot of that, and then we're just gonna make a whole wall of these. We're gonna do the 600s in the center, and we're gonna rack it out. Really, we're gonna make it be what we want it to be, and it's just gonna be a 7 meter wall of this
You do
basically.
that, man. You make that room look slick. You're gonna have other people come in to like podcasts from you on scene to show that off, and like your street cred will just go through the roof because people will be like, "Wow, this guy's committed to a whole wall. Look how great it functions, how great it looks." You won't even need to like waste your time. Like people will come to you to want to see like something that awesome.
Yeah, I mean the ultimate goal is hatch, breed, and hatch. In these enclosures from day dot. So, we're the ones producing it. People are testing it, but we wanna show, document. Day to day YouTube, day to day Instagram. Babies growing, perfect. Breeding, perfect. Laying, perfect.
Well,
Oh,
Jay,
other thing, egg boxes. So we've got an egg box design here. Using the under tray, we were thinking of, you know, we could have egg boxes that can slide out. I mean, it's just endless. It's just endless.
yeah, I love it. Hey, well, we started this show, Dred and I did last July as a weekly show on TikTok, and heck, between the two of us, we got a good 10,000 followers plus. I mean, we got some TikTok presence. We don't do much over there these days. Life's been busy, and then we moved to the YouTube platform for our show efforts that you're on today. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
if you need any help on TikTok, man, let me know. We'll spin you up over there too, get you some more
Yeah,
exposure.
100%. We're not on TikTok yet. I think JVK Reptiles and Racks is. We'll probably be adding that, but we do need to get on TikTok. We need to get current. But we're just
Well,
taking
they
it
can
one
be
step at a
quick.
time, and it's time to get going, really.
Yeah, 30 and 60-second videos. You don't even got to edit it. It's not nearly as difficult as YouTube. You could just like do a recording on your
Oh
phone. Be like,
yeah.
hey, today we're installing this and testing out this new magnet tray. We were using it for this. Now we're going to try it. Stay tuned till tomorrow. Freaking hit stop, hit post,
Um,
and that's it. You're done. You don't even have to sit and massage it and edit it. So you could, because I know, so I really know how social media can become cumbersome. It takes so much time. It becomes its own job. But yeah, if you could do that and streamline that and stuff, yeah, I'm strictly business everywhere, and he's dreadnought pythons. There's no other names to confuse us with, and you'll find us on all those socials. Tag us. We'll always be happy to share them and spin them out there with you, dude.
yeah, I appreciate it. You know, all the help we can get. You know, we want to be embraced in the community. You know, we've been in the community in the royal side for 15 years odd now, and everyone's been great, and the racks have been received really well, and we've just pushed them from, you know, a powder coated rack 15 years ago to now fully stainless steel lids, laser cut, TIG welded. You know, done as best we can. And we want to do the same with these enclosures, really, if not more. So this just has so much potential for extras and modular systems. You know,
Yes.
so much more than the racks, and it's so interesting that we can just design it on the computer and pull it out. So yeah, we're
The
really happy
secret
about it.
sauce, though, is their appearance, the overall aesthetic
Yeah,
that to me, as because I love marketing and logos and branding. I love music and visuals and concerts. I just love that shit. And so the fact that these are aesthetically pleasing to even a non-snake person
Oh
gives it
yeah.
gives it a work of art thing that someone goes, yeah, yeah, I don't have to hide and keep my snakes like a leper in the closet and not tell anybody. Yeah, I got a emerald tree boa in this cube hanging on the wall behind me. It's my pet. So what? I feel like it's going to make people come out of their shell a little bit and display their animals in a way, for the right species, of course. Even their geckos, they got their cresties in there. Could you imagine that in the corner of your living room with a little purple light on for the evening? Dude, talk about Netflix and chill. You got your date over there that night. They're going to be like, you're styling because it looks so cool. It's a piece of art. It's not an aquarium. It's not a
uh,
wood hunk of something you built. It's not a damn ball python rack. Because I mean, that's only aesthetic to people that like genetics and ball pythons like us.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
average Joe is going to go, "Why do you have so many shoes? That's stupid." No one's going to know what that is. But you see this hanging on the wall, either singularly or in a group. You don't got to be a snake person. You could just go,
No.
shit, that is cool looking.
That's it, yeah. I mean, we chose black as the main color. We could have had white, but again, cleanliness, trying to keep the grey was another color. But we think the black just looks smart. It looks clean. It looks sharp. But again, like we were talking about colors, that's kind of a later thing to
Yeah,
discuss and a custom thing to discuss per
yeah,
customer. But generally, they look good in black. And what we're doing, we're trying to keep the snakes feeding, try and keep them feeling secure. So black was the go-to color really.
right. We got a question that says, from tongues to tails, loves them. Would 450 high, 450 by 450 by 600 wide be possible? Is that millimeters, I'm presuming?
Yeah, that's millimeters. So that's another thing that we're doing with the 600 is we're making it modular in a parts way. So we could potentially keep the hexagon, but we can stretch it, or we can stretch it that way. So we would have, and then that's how we're going to get our 900 by 600, or our 1200 by 600. we're going to start stretching
Oh.
the shape and the design so we can go more vivarium kind of.
Yeah, I
I
like
vivarium.
that.
bet
So
I
you
a
like
take
that.
that
square, a
joker
diamond edge. Yeah.
in
So
a
that's
2 foot
how
by
we're going to
2
get
foot.
around the sizes.
Take the 2 foot by 2 foot one you're working on, and you stretch that joker to 3-4 foot wide. You
Yeah.
just opened up boa people,
I've been thinking
carpet
about that this
people,
whole time, making like a
emerald tree
three by,
boa
throw some
people,
ball pythons
adults,
up the wall, just something
and then
cool in
they could
that
just
style.
stack,
That's it.
and then the
Yeah,
other
and
So we've
then
rooms
you
already.
can
fit
right, and then
into
you
it.
can interchange. Not just
Yeah.
that, you can all these others going. You'll
Yeah.
have a chondros, boas, geckos
Yeah.
all on one
I'm
wall.
gonna start walking to work. I'm gonna stop paying the car payment. I'm just gonna send you my car payment every month, Jay, because
I
this
appreciate
shit.
that. I appreciate it. But yeah, that for the 600s, what we've done is we've made a skeleton shell, and then we're lining it in polycarbonate panels, and then we're going to stretch. We're just going to have add-ons, so you can buy, say, the 600, and then you can buy an add-on to make it into a 900. You know, you're not even don't even have to leave the room. You know, but we're still at the design stages. We're going to get the 600 out of the way, make sure we can do all the same features in these that we can in that. Um, we've got some ideas for perches being different, being more tree-like, being more random, and coming forward, back, up, down, left, and right. You know,
But
being
out of a
like
hard, cleanable, sanitizable plastic
you
perch, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, still the same, but we'll have different options. We're going to have the standard kind of perches like these, and then we're going to have more elaborate, more earthy, more tree-like perches potentially. We're in the design stages of them now. We're again going to locate in separate points on the polycarbonate. We've got loads of ideas. We're just trying to, visually vomit them out onto the computer to make sure that
right.
they can get done, they can get fabricated, and they can get put in and they
Dread,
work.
how excited are you, Dread? I can't. I mean, we haven't video chatted before, Jay, but I know other people that know me can tell I'm genuinely geeked. So I mean, this is exciting as shit. Like I can't wait to see what other little tidbits. I mean, once you talking about these add-ons, you're right. It's limitless.
Yeah,
What do you
it's
think,
limitless.
Dread? What animal are you going to put in one, Dread?
Dude, I've been waiting and waiting, and this is it right here. So I want to get me a chondro in one of these. I'm
He's
saving
been
my
wanting a
pennies, so
BIAC. He's been talking about it for a
I,
year.
I will have a chondro, and this is what I will be getting right here.
Focused,
Yeah, I appreciate that.
focused
Focus
who?
cubes and all
Focused
that other
who?
chondro stuff. They can just keep all that. This right here is the best on the
Toad
market.
Ranch? I don't know who those people are. I've never
Right?
heard of them.
What you can? This is the best on the market right now. Guarantee it.
I appreciate that, guys.
Exonopa.
It's just
Mm-mm.
trying to get the word out, you know. Obviously, we have a minimal following in the royal kind of side, especially in the UK. It's okay, but we need to bump it. But having you guys allow me on to talk about them has really helped because we had a small shot of them, a little stack of them, and we've had individual shots of them, just like you can see in the like the brochures. But to see them as a more wall-like feature, we haven't really had the time to start getting them clumped together, and this
You
has been a
showing
great.
you showing that display like that was the biggest right there.
This thing
Yeah,
behind you, I think, Dread,
Yeah,
you're
that
right.
sold it right there. Just that how you have it set up.
yeah, it's yeah, exactly. I mean, and you can elaborate. You can just slowly pick them up and keep going. And it's just why it's so endless. You could literally take up every tiny little bit of space. We're even going to make these into drawers as well. So instead of the front, it'll have the outside edge front, and it'll have a little thumb for a drawer, so you can put all your stuff in. And then you can dot these around wherever you want. It's just so much coming. You just got to kind of
Little
watch the space
drawers
and
for
we're just
like
going to
your
get them
feeding
done.
tongs, extra paper
Yeah,
towels and
feeding
stuff.
tongs. Yeah, we got hooks coming. We've got these kind of like the whole idea with the perch holder and the fact that it slides on. We'll have the same thing with feeding tongs. Just loads of bits. And the great thing about it is once you've got these center kind of add-ons or thermostat holders, there'll just be different fronts, just loads of different fronts that you can buy. We were going to do Amazon, and we're still kind of thinking about it, but one
So
they
that could
they
stay the same, and you could make that front panel. You could machine it in a way that fits a herp stat because you know how they sit. There's one
You
behind me.
could,
I
Yeah,
don't know if you
yeah.
can see it.
if he's gonna make it
There's the herp
interchangeable like
stat.
that. Yeah, that could be the option.
There's the two examples actually. That's
Yes.
about the size of a Vivarium Electronics. It's more wide across, and then that's
Then there's the herp
that
shed.
one. That's a small guy, but you can see how they display, you know, in a horizontal flat pancake fashion. Is that something you can make? So behind you, that panel for the control module, the brains, do you envision having a little shelf where that can display and be like flush mounted and look slick, like, you know, like a car stereo, to where it's sitting in that hole but still
Yeah,
does
we
its
could do
job?
that. I mean, that's the easy part. The more complicated part is making sure the probe fits
The probe,
fits the
yeah.
probe. You know, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you could drill a
Oh,
hole and put them through the back uh, in a layman's terms way, but so that's the only thing. We just need to get some of them stats over in the UK so we can just, you know, design around them, and then I'm sure we can have it as an extra, because it'll be easier in some ways to have a US model with maybe a bigger hole for the bigger probe or a smaller hole for the bigger probe, whatever. Um, but
because
again,
even those two
we
brands,
want to make it universal.
the thickness on their probe tip is different on those two brands. The wire
Yeah,
that plugs in is proprietary. You can't change it. There ain't nothing you can do about it.
no,
So
no.
there
So
is a thickness to the rubber at the end of them that I know, because I drill holes in my crap all the time, and I'll have to. It is two different bits. So,
I'm just going to get the phone on charge because it's going to die. So
oh,
let me
you're
two
right.
seconds, lads. Let me.
We're nearing 2 hours, Dred. I'm like a kid in a candy store over here, just
No,
like.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It's all good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump off here anyway, but
Yeah, we got to wrap up. I got to pick my girlfriend up from work and get. She's actually got to work a second job tonight. She's picked up another
uh
job at around the street here, but she's got to finish her day job. I got to go swoop her up.
yeah, I gotta get yeah.
So these are a hit by all intents and purposes. Everyone seems to be really on board. Um, Definitely want to. We'll chat some more here in the coming days. I mean,
Guys, hit Jay up, like you say. Go to JVK Racks or JVK Chondros, IG. Hit Constricted up if you got to,
and
right?
yeah,
However, to get your message to Jay and
yeah, and
get your
go on my
orders in. Get
Instagram.
ready for this stuff. If you got any questions, comments, I mean, whatever it is, or any ideas, right? Shoot them,
Yeah,
send them that
just
way.
give us
You
a
guys that are
message.
keeping chondros,
So
right? Put
people
it
that
out there for
are
Jay to work on.
on comments today generally follow me on Instagram. My stories today, they'll run all the way till tomorrow. So it's got your business accounts, you know, tagged, so people can easily
Appreciate
find
it.
you. So they don't have to go and search. So if you guys just go to my stories for today, it's hyperlinked JVK enclosures and then JVK chondros. You can click on them and follow them both. It's just down on the bottom of my story. So make it a little easier if people want to give you a follow. I would appreciate it. Be sure you're giving likes for the show today. We had a good crowd watching. The last Saturday was a little tough, but then a lot of people watched it after the fact. The last time we did a Saturday show, we had been doing them at noon. Today we did it at 2 instead, because sometimes we have international guests, so that we do Saturdays to try to be, find a balance,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I think we had better viewership at trying it at 2 o'clock today than noon. Don't you think, Dred?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was good,
Well, I
man. This was
appreciate it,
awesome. The
lads.
excitement's there. These are gonna be a hit, man. No doubt.
I
Thanks,
appreciate it. I
man.
really
No
do.
doubt. I can
We'll do
see
what
it.
we
These are
can.
gonna be a hit.
We'll speak. We'll try and get some to Daytona, and we'll go from there. If not before.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I would be honored, to have you as a show sponsor. I don't have anybody with enclosures, and I'm a believer, just as a convert, just as a fan, like reptile keeper, not just as like anything business related, but just I love them. I love the design. I love the modern new take to it, and how ingenious they are, the way things are integrated, man. So you hit it out of the park, you and your team, dude. You did awesome. So thank you so much for having us be the first show you've been on. I'm sure you're going to be
Dude,
on many,
MJ
many
will be
more.
jealous when
Yeah,
I have a truckload of these heading down to Pomona. Look at what I'm displaying, MJ.
Yeah, and we'll talk,
I
man.
appreciate it, lads.
We'll try to get some of these, at least a few of them, in my hands. And I'm going to Daytona anyhow. The Herp and Harbins actually covered promotional expenses to go down there. So that's how they ended up one of our show sponsors. But I will be down there. I might score a little table space and get some of those enclosures in front of people, dude.
Can I just say one more thing quickly before my phone dies? Is
Yeah.
there's a scammer on Facebook trying to beat us. So can
Okay.
we please just direct everything to jvk.chondros on Instagram? And then if you want to order, we could maybe do a FaceTime just to double check it's me and you're coming to me, because some people are being scammed. On Facebook, we are
Yeah, I seen
JVK
that
Reptiles and
Facebook
Racks
stuff. I
Limited.
thought it was a scam. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
glad you
So
clarified that. Thanks. Yeah.
so we've been having that a lot. There's a guy in Africa and Cameroon doing it, and we can't get hold of him. So, and he's blocked us personally in the business, so we can't see anything he does. So just make
Oh.
sure you message me. We talk on the phone or we do a voice note. Because he won't speak to you. He won't. He won't do any videos. Nothing. And obviously, I'll do whatever we need to do. So if we go through, us, JVK Chondros. Just make sure you get hold of me and we have a chat and even a FaceTime before we do the order. I'm happy with that, and
Okay.
it just stops any confusion. And
Okay.
just not Facebook, just Instagram, and get hold of me.
Okay. That is excellent. I'm glad you shared that. Yeah, we don't want anyone losing their money, getting excited about something
No,
that they're
no,
hoping to get. It's a scam. So, all right. So avoid any Facebook replicas of yourself. Instagram. You guys will chat, DM, do a video call, handle it with you personally.
that's it.
And you are in the
That's it.
UK, not in Cameroon. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he's saying he's everywhere. So if you guys, if we can make it, we'll just do a video call or we'll just do voice notes. They won't do that. So
okay.
um, we'll make sure that they're very aware when they're spending their money that it's really us. So just make sure, we go from there. We got business, fully vatable business number, limited company.
Right.
We're very traceable in that way. So we're not paid. We can do PayPal, but we won't. We'll just do bank transfer. So we're not some random email address on PayPal. It is us. And the website is jvkreptilesandracks.co.uk, and they will be on there. Again, this guy has made a dodgy website. So again, just try and get hold of me. We'll talk, and then we know it's all good.
Awesome. Well, brother, this has been super great. I am honored to have you on. Thank you for making time for us today. And let's get this word out. We'll chat further offline.
Yeah.
I want to play one of your videos from Instagram as we play out here. One of your videos straight off your page, not altered or anything, just so people could kind of take a tour around one of your set of enclosures together, nested and functioning. Is one you did. I think I made it a story today, but if you don't mind, I'll
Perfect.
play that and we'll
Yeah, that'd
wrap
be
up.
great.
And we'll be backstage. We'll chat. We'll end the live so no one else can, won't be catching anything. But I will go through that after I hit the play on your video. My boy Ryan out there in Cali, high voltage, absolutely amazing enclosures. Great show. Thank
Great
you.
show, guys. Faux show. Happy Easter, everyone, and enjoy your Sunday. And
All right.
tomorrow, Sunday, right? Enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks for hanging with us.
Yep.
Cheers.
Let me play out this video. Appreciate everyone being here today. Shout out to JVK Chondros, JVK racks and enclosures. This thing is going to take off. I just know it. So I will. I guess we'll end the broadcast. My good friend Eric said, "Great show. Thanks for hanging out." A husband and wife. They have come to an agreement. Looks like they're getting a chondro soon in one of your enclosures. So here we go. All right, guys, be good. I sure appreciate you very, very much, and we'll see you Thursday.